Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be taking a tour of my sports car garage in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now for some reason, sometimes when I do garage tours in GTA, there's these weirdos that come into the comments and think that I'm flexing or something like that. I don't know what kind of things these people have taken, but that's not what we're doing here. Basically, I just do garage tours just to give you guys ideas of how I've customized certain cars of mine, and just so if you guys are curious, you can know what my garage looks like. There's no flexing to it, it's just, this is my sports car garage, and let's get into it. We're gonna go inside my garage right now and let you guys see. Now, if you've never seen one of my garage tours in GTA before, I do it car by car so that there's no spoilers. Obviously, you guys are watching a video, so you can skip ahead. But we're going to go ahead and start off with my Ubermarkt Cypher. Now, this is a car that I actually customized recently on the channel, so if you want to know how this thing has been done, it is there if you're really that curious. Now, the Cypher is a really good car. It was added with the Tuners DLC. It's obviously pretty heavily based off of a BMW M2. I don't think there's really any dispute to that. I think Rockstar nailed it. Their copyright infringement team did a fantastic job. It's got the Cheetah carbon R's on it right there. As you guys can see, I pretty much selected every little carbon detail that I could on this vehicle. It's got the carbon roof, carbon ducktail, carbon rear diffuser. It's just everything's carbon. I think it looks great. I'm really happy with the customization. I haven't actually changed it since I got it, so I like it a lot. Let's move on to the next car. Now, the next car is, of course, the Cockeyed D10, which is based off of the Corvette C8 in real life. I've sort of gone for a C8 Z06 build or Z06 build. Now, the Z06 wasn't actually announced when I made this build, but it kind of resembles it. I mean, Rockstar's copyright infringement team, they seem to be getting better and better throughout all these DLCs. This thing is completely infringed upon. I mean, it's literally a C8, so it's a great looking car. I'm really happy with the customization. Obviously, gone for yellow and black. I have the stock rims on there, red interior. That is going to be a pretty common theme in this garage that you guys will notice. I've got the black stripes livery on this thing. I've got carbon pretty much everywhere that you can think of on this vehicle. I mean, the side skirts, the spoiler, the rear diffuser. I think the front bumper's even got a little bit of carbon on it. It sure does. Overall, Cockeyed D10, pretty cool car. Definitely a good one to drive. Definitely one that I'd say I recommend too. Let's move on to the next vehicle, which is, of course, a vehicle that I actually just customized like 2 or 3 days ago when you guys are seeing this, which is, of course, the Grotty Italia GTO. I've changed my customization a lot. In the customization video, it was yellow. I've gone for a Saxon blue primary on this thing and a bright orange secondary, and I changed the rim color from bronze to black. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I think that it looks great. I don't know, I'm pretty ecstatic with it. I just did this really recently as well, like literally 20 minutes before recording this video. So anyway, really happy with it. Italia GTO, fastest sports car around a track in GTA Online. Undisputed, it's like the best car for racing in the game. Well, in the sports category, that is. There's better cars in general. But number 3, Italia GTO, of course. Next up, we have the Ferrari Comet SR. Now, this is actually one of the quickest sports cars in the game. It's probably barely within the top 10 right now because of the HSW vehicles that came out on the expanded and enhanced edition. However, on last gen, I believe this thing is the 6th fastest sports car in the game, but it will lose to the Italia GTO like every single time, unfortunately. But it is still a great car. Obviously, I've got mine based pretty heavily off of a Porsche 911 GT2. You could say it's a GT3 as well, I wouldn't argue with you. It's a great looking car. I love the little details in the headlights on this thing. They look so cool. Like, there's just so many little shapes right there. Pretty awesome looking. I've gone for carbon on this thing as well. Usually I don't go for a carbon hood, but this was like one car that I feel like you can get away with it on. So I'm pretty happy with that. I got the big carbon spoiler on it, the big carbon rear diffuser as well with the exhaust tips, carbon roof. It's a great looking car. I'm really happy with this thing. I think I might re-customize it though, because I'm getting a little tired of it and I don't drive this thing that often. So I think the customization definitely needs to get changed. So I'm going to do that soon. Last but not least, on this side of the garage, we have the Grotty Italia RSX, which I just customized very recently as well, probably about a week or maybe 2 ago. This thing is, I mean, it's awesome looking. I believe my crew color is actually on this thing. For the color, it's got bronze rims as well. As you guys can see, carbon everywhere that I could put it. I love carbon. I think it looks so good, and it breaks up the color really, really nicely on a lot of these cars. So yeah, the Grotty Italia RSX is one of the fastest sports cars in the game. It's arguably second, maybe third to the Italia GTO. This thing actually has broken downforce modifiers, so if it wasn't broken, it would actually be the fastest sports car in the game. That's a fun fact about the Grotty Italia RSX. So that's it for the first half of the garage. Let's move to the second half, and starting off, we of course have the Banshee. This thing goes for about $130,000, I think it is, or no, I think it's $105,000. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that's right. The Banshee, super OG car. This thing came out with Grand Theft Auto 5 all the way back in 2013. It's got this red livery that they've added since they actually released the Banshee, which is pretty cool. Rockstar adding new liveries to old vehicles. It's kind of crazy. Obviously, I've gone for the white and red with the white rims. I was feeling pretty white on this car, and I've got the carbon spoiler, of course. My cars wouldn't be complete without some sort of carbon fiber on them somewhere. It's a great looking car. Love this thing. On the expanded and enhanced edition of the game, you can actually get an HSW upgrade for the Banshee, so you can make it a lot faster than it is in the last generation of GTA. That's it for that car. On to the next one, and of course we have another OG. This is the Benefactor Feltzer. This thing goes for $145,000, and it's just outside of the top 10 fastest sports cars in the entire game, which is pretty crazy. Just considering that this thing was also added all the way back in 2013. As you guys can see though, it's got some pretty extreme modifications that you can do to it. Carbon everywhere. Again, it's got this huge wing on the back. It's got all these canards all over the thing. Side skirts, everything. Side exit exhausts too, which is really cool about the Feltzer. It's got the fender vents as well. The caged headlights as well. It's just such a cool car. The Feltzer is a great one. If you have like 150 grand to spend on a car in GTA, I highly recommend picking up a Feltzer. This thing is absolutely awesome. You cannot go wrong with a Feltzer. Such a cool car. Let's move on to the next vehicle here. And of course we have the Ocelot Locust that I actually customized just the other day. This is a car that I was super impressed with. It's actually probably one of my favorite cars in Grand Theft Auto Online right now. This thing is absolutely awesome. It's a blast to drive, looks really cool. I like the fitment of the wheels on it too. They stick out just past the fender. I think that's a big part of why I like this car, I've realized. It's got this cool spoiler. There's tons of liveries for this thing as well. The only thing I wish that this car had was just a roof and like a windshield, but unfortunately it doesn't come with that. But I mean, it's, you know, it's close enough. Locust is definitely a cool car. Definitely one to check out. This thing goes for about $1.6 million, which is kind of expensive, but it's a damn good car, so check it out for sure if you guys have not got one already. Next up, we of course have the Dubachi Spectre in a ultra blue, I believe that is. I've got the chrome rims on this thing. Those cost like a light 70 grand. Definitely one of the more elegant looking cars in the game. This thing's based off of an Aston Martin DB10 or maybe a DB11 in real life. It's kind of, you know, it's up to what you really decide. This thing is awesome though. I mean, I absolutely love the Dubachi Spectre. You can actually make it the Spectre Custom if you want to as well, which can install a bit more of a wide body kit on this thing. As you guys can see, it's already got pretty flared arches, but you can go even more extreme on it, which is pretty nuts. It's definitely a wide car. I mean, like compared to the Locust, like this is a very wide car. I know the Locust isn't exactly like a car, but I mean, even compared to the Feltzer, this thing is quite a wide unit. Definitely a fun car. Not going to win you any races. This thing is pretty far out of the top 10 fastest sports cars. The sports category is very competitive, so yeah, the Dubachi Spectre, it's just not quite there. And last but not least, in my sports garage, we of course have the Enis Paragon R. The Enis Paragon R, obviously Rockstar's copyright infringement team, especially at the start of this garage, they are doing wonders. Actually, I mean, for pretty much the whole garage, Rockstar's copyright infringement team, they're putting in that work for sure. This thing is very obviously based off of a Bentley Continental Super Sports in real life. Very cool car, very heavy car, and the Paragon R in GTA, it translates the weight. I don't know how Rockstar's done it, but this is definitely a pretty heavy feeling car, just like it is in real life. As you guys can see, carbon, like everywhere that I could put it, I put it. I like to break up the color, and I think that this thing looks fantastic. I mean, if you don't like how this thing looks, then I don't know what to say, but I think pretty much everybody likes how the Paragon R looks. I'm super happy with my customization. Definitely one of the faster cars in this garage. It is all-wheel drive, so it gets a pretty crazy launch. It's got good acceleration. I mean, overall, it's just a fantastic car, really. And of course, you can actually get an armored version of this thing if you complete the 6 casino missions that you get from Miss Baker, which is really, really cool. The armored version can only take like 2 rockets, but still, it's cool to have. Anyway, guys, that is it for my garage tour in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you want to see more garage tours, let me know in the comments down below. These are pretty easy for me to do, so if you want to see any of my garages, just let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.